are live. Hello, Hola, Konnichiwa, Salaam. Ciao Namaste. Peace to all. This is the Pink Elf in the Room conversation. And what we're going to discuss for today is why are we afraid to be ourselves? You, for some people out there, it might not be a struggle to be who you truly are. But for many who are still growing to be themselves, it is pretty much difficult in a sense to be that. And just so you guys know, what we'll be talking about first is just like why don't people pay attention to that part of them? Pay attention to the fact of how they act in a sense when it comes to just being who we are. Why is that so difficult? You see, for many, it could be simply due to the fact of what they've experienced. It can be due to peer pressure, due to what you feel certain authority figures or certain people you inspire to be may say, in a sense, and you end up trying to become what they are, in a sense, or be a part of the crowd so you can be accepted and whatnot and feel as though you belong. And that can happen to many people, and through all those things you can have issues and traumas and drama that affects the way you act, in a sense. But none of us have really stripped away that, because then the question then simply becomes, how would we act if we did not have those issues, the trauma, the drama, the BS and whatnot? And I want to say hello. We have Williams Dower who waved hello. I want to say hello to you. Um, what would we be without those things is the question. How would we act if we didn't have our traumas and issues? We'd be a completely different person. We'd be unknown. And the thing about the unknown is that it is terrifying to us to go out to somewhere we are not used to, due to just a simple thing that is always stated: we are creatures of habit. We like things to be comfortable to us that we know or have already researched, so we're okay with it. We are not, however, okay with something new, something we don't know the information to, and we do this because of the fact that we have this prideful mentality at times to believe we are the ones who roam and do what we wish on this earth because we are the superior ones. And don't even realize we are nowhere near close to superior. In fact, that would be throwing superior out the window. We are still very primitive in our ideology and how we act and whatnot. We haven't even moved past that to actually truly understand each other. And you can see this in everyday life, whether it's just separation in color, separation in sex, judgment on certain things you do because by moral code it might not be right to do it and whatnot. And we just go by that information believing that is it and that we are the superior beings, instead of realizing how much we are not, and we need to be who we are, beings that are growing, instead of believing we are beings that are superior to everything, because we have not even come close to reaching the surface of that or coming anywhere near that. So, in my own experience, when I was going through things and growing, I even have to admit to myself, in a sense, I was afraid to be who I was because of the fact that I was constantly trying to move with the crowd, trying to be accepted. I would go to those parties, I would drink with those people, and I would have a good time or try to have a good time to be accepted. And there were times where I recalled being around certain people who ended up not really being friends of mine because of how they treated me, and didn't care what I felt, in a sense, even if I cared to help them out or grow who they are, in a sense. And I did not even realize I was so angry at those people, whether it's just friends or exes or whatnot. I was so angry about those things going on that I let them become who I was at one point. And I remember even one time where I was trying to get my dreams and goals together and I was working every day, but I had overexerted myself to the point of exhaustion. And I'm not an octopus, I don't have a bunch of hands. And hence why when I tried to grab for everything, I ended up overexerting myself and collapsing from fatigue. And I had to learn and realize what was really important to me and what was not. What was important for my goals and dreams in life, and what was not important for my goals and dreams in life that I could allow to happen or grow continually as I go through everyday life. And a part of that journey, it took time, but I had to realize, of course, just like everything else going on, the unknown. Um, the unknown was giving myself unconditional love because there were times I very much was terrified of being alone by myself, because I felt like many people, I was left with my thoughts and I didn't know how to handle that because I had so many negative thoughts of myself, and it was a part of the unknown that became my unconditional love that I had to seriously work on. I had to actually sit down with myself and tell myself I'm going to love you no matter what happens, and so on and so forth. And I had to keep pushing forward. I had to work on my body to make sure I was healthy, to love me, to have the energy. I had to meditate twice a day to keep my mind healthy and realize how important it is to keep my entire self healthy and giving myself that self care, that self love to push forward. And because of it, even though it still took time, because I was still dealing with the fact of how I felt, and I'm not perfect, even now I have those times, and I'm still growing and working on that. But as time progresses, little by little, I got past that and I was being who I truly am instead of someone else. And that's why when I tell people about when they ask me, like, who inspires you and whatnot, I inspire me because of the fact that everything I have done in life has gotten me there through my inspiration. And you have to be your biggest hero and love you for you instead of worrying about, I got to be like that person or that celebrity or that person or that teacher. Learn to be yourself. Study and grow from those people, but learn to evolve yourself to love who you are and become that hero that you desire and see within self instead of outside of self, because again, nobody's gonna love you more than you love yourself, as you know. But truth be told, how do you rid of these things? How do you rid of the drama, the trauma, the doubt of all of this? You have to, of course, be willing to sit down with yourself and seriously, whether it's taking 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour to yourself and really think about what you feel inside yourself, the negatives that you feel, the positives, and realize deep within, first of all, how important it is to love you first, and second, to understand, are those things true of what you are being? Are you being those things? Because if you're being those things, the only thing you have to really do, whatever you feel negative or whatever anyone tells you is negative, is just stop doing those things. And if people say those things and that's not you, then realize that within yourself and go forward and love you. I remember there were many people when I was younger who said you're a monster and this and that, and I used to so much believe that was the truth of me now, that I was a monster to people and no one was ever going to love me. And in a sense of being like Beauty and the Beast almost. But the truth was, I had to realize those people were going through their own problems, And which you, again, what you see in other people, you will see in yourself. So that when they were saying that, they were simply saying that to themselves, because I had to realize I know who I am. I'm not always perfect, but I know very much so who I am, and I'm gonna care for me no matter what's going on. So I did. Love yourself, period. And be careful of what you think and tell yourself, because it will have an effect on you. If you tell yourself you are worthless and you're never going to be anything, that is what you are being. If you tell yourself, one of my favorite words or statements from a man named Alan Watts is simply this: I am the greatest. See yourself as your perfection. See yourself as someone who's growing. Have patience with you. You know it's not always going to be perfect. Maybe you might feel like you're not good enough. Maybe you might feel that person you're trying to be with, maybe you feel it's your fault, but you may not realize you have to think of the good, because of the fact that there might be something better out there. If you feel you didn't get that job, there might be something greater out there. If you feel you didn't have enough money for a specific item or something of that nature, there might be something better coming your way. If you feel you don't have the money for certain things and you're just not seeming to get it, there might be something soon coming your way that you might not know about, but it's a choice in thought. You can believe those behaviors or you can change those behaviors, but it's always going to be your choice if those behaviors come true or not, or if you simply create those behaviors in the first place. And like I was saying earlier, you going out to meditate, taking your time to meditate on self and really get to know who you are, and just go forward and do what you love. Or better yet, to get focused within self is what I meant. And to really know you from the inner workings, exercising to make sure the body has more energy. It's not easy either for that, but if you keep going and you keep being consistent, you'll easily get it down, and you'll keep going from there. And you'll not only do that, you'll be healthier in both the mind and how it works, and the body and how it works. And of course, we have the soul in a sense. You'll have a deeper understanding of the soul and loving all of who you are being as a three-part being in this world that you have created, that you've decided to be in and make this experience happen. Be who you are. Love yourself. If you have to tell yourself every morning, I love you, um, or you're going to be the greatest you can be, go for it. But be you. Just because someone tells you how things should be, in a sense, doesn't mean you have to, but you should always be you. The media, the all those magazines and whatnot are gonna say whatever they want, because that is the status quo of the world. But the question is, what do you choose to be genuinely within yourself? Think about that. Know that you can get rid of it through your own positive mindset. And this is something that is, of course, called first thought. If you use your highest version, what would your highest version of yourself be? What would be the first thought of your highest version of who you are, and how it would act, and how it would do what it chooses in sense in situation? Keep that in mind, and you will literally change the way you think, the way you react to certain things going on around you, and you will push forward to create a new and more loving, evolved self of who you truly are, instead of what you feel you should be, in a sense, or simply, as they would say, keeping up with the Joneses or Kardashians, in a sense. Be you. Don't worry about trying to be everybody else or keep up with the masses. Because truth at the end of the day is loving you is more important than anything. And the other thing is simply that you have to realize everybody is special. You may see shows that say you are the chosen one or you are the special one, but I hate to tell, and be the bearer of bad news, but or maybe good news, in a sense, might be the better note of that. But we're all special. It's just a choice on which you create and you call special. Is it being legendary on this planet, or is it just simply having your the small home with a simple family and whatnot, and being proud that you've raised those children or you've had that type of love? Is it simply being able to be pregnant and have a child, or is it a guy who is hoping to be with someone where they can have child? Or is it getting married? Or is it just simply finding love? Is it creating music? Is it building some establishment that can amaze the world? Or is it just simply having a mom and pop shop that you can keep running the way you enjoy? It's all a choice of whatever you create, but you're all special. This is why I constantly say you are the gods, the goddesses, and creators within, because you are magnificent and beautiful and amazing. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Be who you are. Be that cares for self instead of what other people tell you you should care for. Instead of other people telling you that unconditional love doesn't exist, choose to create those situations to make it happen. And don't doubt yourself. Be you. Love you. Give yourself what makes you happy to grow self as you're creating what you created. So, we're ending it here. In conclusion, this is the reason why people aren't themselves, by simply keeping up with the crowd or due to traumas they were going through in life, everyday life. My experience of what has happened to me personally that has gotten me from point A, being in those same traumas and issues. And even now, there are times where it's still crazy for me, but still being in those issues compared to now being myself, no matter what situation is brought up. And just simply understanding how to get past that by taking care of your own health, taking care of yourself, giving yourself that self love, that self care, and kindness you deserve. Being patient, especially with who you are, and going for what you truly desire. And just realizing that everyone is special. And to add to that, treat everyone as though they're special, because what you see again in others, say it with me, you see in yourself. You create that. You become that which is beautiful, amazing, magnificent, divine, as the gods, the goddesses, and the creators within. So, to everybody out there, remember that to know thyself is to know the creator within, who you are. And to everybody out there, have a good morning, a great afternoon, and a fantastic evening. To everybody, peace and namaste.